Now, while at one end of the spectrum, many Maori whānau are struggling to make ends meet, at the other end, iwi companies are announcing profits and planning major investments. In our recent Digipoll, we asked 1,000 Maori whether they thought iwi leaders were doing enough to help underprivileged Maori. 23.4% said yes, 64.8% said no, and nearly 12% didn't know. Shane Todima's got reaction to the result.
Kia ora. Well, obviously we wanted to get a response from the Iwi Leaders Forum and we approached the chair, Mark Solomon, and others, but none accepted our invitation. However, willing to discuss the issues are Māori Council spokesperson and member Maanu Paul and Te Whāinga Wahine spokesperson Denise Messiter. Thank you both for joining us. Maanu Paul, are you surprised with those results that there doesn't seem to be a lot of confidence in our iwi leadership?
No, I'm not surprised, and I believe that result is because the government have imposed a whole lot of iwi leaders on top of the traditional iwi leaders. You see? And that's the problem, because what they're trying to do is to ask them to do social engineering, and these people haven't got the capacity to do that.
Well, the government will say, well, actually, we're actually dealing with a forum called the Iwi Leaders Forum that have been democratically elected by their people. Do you not accept that?
No, I don't accept that.
They haven't been democratically elected. I mean, what we've got is the Iwi Leaders Forum essentially are chairs of trust boards.
That haven't been elected by their people?
They've been elected by their people to be chairs of their trust boards, not to be members of a national Iwi Leaders Forum selected by government. They're two totally different things. Yeah, the Iwi Leaders Forum have nothing to do with us on the ground. Who are they? Who the heck are all of those chairs to make decisions for us?
Yeah, the problem is, you see, that they're operating under the institution of popularism, okay? They haven't got the skills to do the social engineering that's necessary to help the underprivileged.
So you're talking about the likes of Mark Solomon, Tuku Morgan and co, is that correct?
Yes, they've never been trained in social engineering. What they have been trained is to receive a monthly cheque, all right? They've never run their own businesses. Yeah. Until you've run your own business, how can you look after other people's business?
Well, you know, they may be watching this morning, and we did, as I said before, we did give them the opportunity to appear this morning. But Maanu Paul, they may say, well, you actually had your turn, you had your shot at it, Maanu Paul. We're now elected leaders of their tribes, trying to make a difference.
Yes. What we did, the Māori Council, was to ensure that we went to court to protect the taonga that they're reaping the benefits of. But in actual fact, if we look at the traditional leadership of iwi, all right, they were from the hapu. We got off the waka as hapu, not as iwi, as hapu.
OK, let's move on, because this panel wasn't designed, if you like, to attack the Iwi Leaders Forum. More so about the Iwi leadership, if indeed they are providing that leadership. Denise, Paula Bennett, as an example, says that the Iwi leadership, they need to stand up. Do you agree?
Well, who is she? Who is she to make a call and to say what iwi leaders need to be doing or not doing? You know, at the end of the day, Paula Bennett makes decisions that impact negatively on our people. We don't need iwi leaders to stand up and do anything. This is about us as people standing up. 64% of 1,000 Māori said and have stood up and said, we are here to be counted. Our voice says you are not doing enough for us. Doesn't that speak volumes? In actual fact, the iwi leaders being silent on this, being silent on the oil spill in Tauranga, speaks volumes. Where are they?
Interesting that you bring up the oil spill, because it does surprise me that almost 5-6 days later, after the oil spill, we're only just seeing some form of leadership on the ground down there today.
Well, even the Pākehā leadership took 5 to 6 days. The Prime Minister's only going there today. You know, he spent the last few days giving money away for the World Cup to be celebrated. You know, where are the priorities? For me, the issue of the underprivileged people is one which requires a lot more than just this program. It requires some serious study by Māori, for Māori, about where they see their place in this country.
Now, I know we have limited time this morning, but what do you think iwi leaders should be doing, Denise?
I think iwi leaders need to stand back. They need to disassociate themselves from the national government, the government that's contrived this forum. They need to stand back and they need to be intelligent and talk to intelligent Māori, which we all are, about other models, business models that are based on our values, that are based on our practices, and look at how we can have an economy which includes people at the heart of the economy. Not about being expendable. I mean, at the moment, we've got business models and an economy that's based on all of us are expendable. When you're 65, you're out.
What's so wrong, though, with a group of Māori who have been duly elected as iwi leaders, coming together to share experience, coming together to try and make better opportunities for Māori? Do you not see that as something that the forum is trying to achieve?
You don't elect leadership. You don't elect leadership. You elect chair people. Hey, it's a job.
So before you were saying that they're not mandated, now you're saying that, you know, through election or trying to elect them, that they're still not mandated?
My view is quite simply that there isn't an institution that Māori have designed for themselves to take care of their economy, to take care of their business and to take care of the underprivileged.
Do we all agree, though, that we need to be having a conversation with the government, because they hold the purse strings, don't they?
It's not a question of the purse strings, it's a question of the thinking power that goes behind the decision-making to help your people. That's where the paucity is in this so-called
But Maanu, Paul, with great respect, people watching this program this morning will be saying, what a lot of hogwash. At the end of the day, we actually need support, we need a bit of guidance, we need some help to make ends meet.
This government needs to invest, like, what did they do on Monday, just gone? This government invested $4 million and the Super City invested $1.5 million to extend a fan zone for adults to behave badly.
So it does come back down to money?
It comes partly, not all. Yeah. What's going to happen after the Rugby World Cup when it's over? The All Blacks are likely to lose and the country's going to go into what? Despair? Like our national pride, we're supposed to believe, is about a rugby game? Come on. That's not intelligence.
The underprivileged people, you see, will still be here after the World Cup is over.
But that group of people, though, they are growing in numbers, though, aren't they? We're not just talking about those on the periphery or on the fringes.
I agree with you. They will continue to grow because there is no intervention, all right? If government wants to spend money, all right, it should pour it into a whare wānanga that has the task of preparing a group and an institution to address these issues.
Finally, because we have to wrap, we're just about out of time, but Denise, final word to you, what needs to happen now?
If you look at it from a structural violence framework, and if we understand colonisation, Māori women are at the bottom of that framework, and nothing has changed for the last 100 years. Māori women are the birthers of our people. We birth our nations. And if we cannot take care of our women, if we cannot raise and support them and our women and our whānau, nothing is going to change for us. Nothing is going to change.
A good place to leave it. Thank you both for joining us this morning.
Tēnā koe.